Hey Internet. In trying to figure out what to do with my YouTube channel, I took a long hard look at the current landscape and found that what people really love watching are lists for some reason. Now, I'm nothing if not a trend follower, but I don't know dick about anything except for what fruits belong on a pizza.
None of them.
And my own history in this nerdcore scene. So with that, here's a very personal list of the top 5 nicest people in nerdcore. Now, honorable mentions go out to guys like, Adam Warrock, Death Star, Billy the Fridge, Shubzilla, Clop and Pop, Frontalot, Dual Core, everybody, pretty much everyone I've met while being Beefy has been incredible, but these 5 guys just kind of stand out. They also paid me more, so, the rich just keep on getting richer, am I right? Go for Bernie. Arbitrarily coming in at number 5 is Whitey Cracker. Whitey Cracker was the first nerdcore rapper that I met who had actually listened to before meeting. And not to take anything away from Ultraclastron or Monzi, but I remember being legit intimidated by the man known as the Digital Gangster. He had big sunglasses on inside, he had a DG belt buckle, an incredibly attractive lady friend. And the most fascinating thing about Whitey Cracker is that he's always on. Whitey isn't a character that Bryce Case performs. Bryce has been like this every single time I've seen him. Whitey is just another nickname he has. What takes Whitey from being a really cool guy to a really nice guy is that if you manage to pin him down and occupy the same space that he does for even a few hours, he's gonna show you a good time and make you feel awesome and popular while doing it. So a post-PAX show we threw one year was absolute garbage. The booking went really weird and south. It was before we learned that no one is sticking around after PAX for a show, especially if it's not in or around the convention center. But so what? Whitey Cracker buys the whole club drinks, he gives away copies of his album, salutes P.NICEST, and introduced us all to the General, which turns out not to be a nickname for his dick. And personally, Whitey jumped all over the Beefy train early on and helped me raise my profile just by giving me his seal of approval. And for that, I will love him forever. No questions asked. Nerdy South for life, Spam Tech is the greatest. Because this next dude's a 4 eyes, number 4 is Beaker. If Nerdcore had a Mother Teresa, it would be Beaker. While people like Frontalot and MC Chris raise awareness of nerds making rap music, no one has supported these poor ass kids more in the last 5 years than Beaker. Doing shows through Texas and need a place to crash? They call Beaker. Need production tips and advice on how to improve your shitty tracks? They call Beaker. You need of a primo weed guy? Beaker is always the guy you turn to, and the magic is that he always does it with a smile on his face. This guy loves nerdcore. He's not in love with certain acts or repping the scene to inflate his own profile. Dude seems to get legit joy out of doing anything he can to support the scene that, more often than not, has taken more than it's ever given. Damn, I'd be trying to... Josh, the entirety of Orlando. You get those things in your throat. Beaker's like the DJ Kali of Nerdcore if Kali was a super intelligent megalomaniac and didn't come off as a kindergarten motivational speaker. Beaker knows they don't want you to succeed, and that's why he's gonna make you succeed. Special shoutouts also go out to his incredibly patient and supportive wife Tara and their 2 new babies, and like me, Beaker is married to a teacher, so you know he makes good life choices. Next up on this list is gonna be Dr. Popular. Doc Pop is an interesting entry on this list because back when we spent a lot of time together during the Mediocre Tour days, Doc was kind of like regularly a dick to me. So why is he on this list? Because it was like a big brother level of dickishness. And I never had an older brother growing up, and Doc kind of filled that void as we played shows between Seattle and LA. Doc is incredibly multi-talented and innovative in medias years before they've become popular. I've been on Twitter for over 10 years now because Doc Pop introduced it to me in a small theater in San Francisco during the days of the iPhone 1. The crazy part is that Doc Pop is so tenaciously interested in everything that you're doing as well. He's always trying to find new ways of incorporating something new into every art form that he tackles. Turning broken electronics into dope beats? Check. Making yo-yoing look dope as hell? Check. Changing the way people think about mobile photography? Checkmate. Doc Pop is an old soul, and he was really one of the first people to ever take a shot at collaborating with me, providing me with my very first dope track, Tub of Tabasco, and ever since he's kind of been that big brother I never had and often never wanted, but I love anyway. I'll never forget how he took personal responsibility for Router and would try to wrangle her from place to place after a show when everybody else grew fed up. But Doc didn't get tired or selfish like the rest of us. If you're Doc's friend, he's gonna take care of you and he's gonna show you some pretty interesting things along the way. He just may make a few dry jokes while doing so, which I respect, honestly. Also, he made me this custom painting. Did I not mention he's also an illustrator? My bad. Number 2, Megaran. Meaning Megaran, you may not believe he's a rapper. You never know dude recently put out a charting album, and there's a generation of kids growing up in Arizona right now that probably think he's just a language arts teacher. But while the rapper formerly known as Random is all of those things, what he is most of all is humble. I don't think I've ever met someone so soft-spoken and chill off stage but turn into a completely different person once they have a mic in their hand. And while this guy's accomplished so much and has worked with pioneers in the industry, he still seems to be just as excited to work with a lowlife like myself. Rand believes in giving back, and he hasn't abandoned anyone on his way to becoming successful. The teacher part of him's never left. His priorities still seem to be to help elevate those around him and to give others the tools and motivation they need to be successful as well. And to do so when no one would blame him if he stopped makes him a superstar to me. Megaran is one of, if not the hardest working man in nerd raps, releasing 2 or 3 albums in the time that it took me to write this list, yet I've never overheard him raise his voice or get annoyed with an overeager fan. Rand dealt with elementary school kids every weekday for years, and because of this he seems to be overfilling with patience and tolerance and isn't likely to lose his cool and smack you upside your head even if you probably have it coming. Also, congrats to Megaran for his recent marriage. Welcome to the Good Choices team with me and Beaker, sir. We're having very large jackets made. Be sure to send me your measurements. And last but not least, and at number 1, which should not come as a surprise to anyone who's ever talked to me about the nerdcore scene over the years, is MC Lars. MC Lars is not only the friendliest nerdcore rapper that I've ever met, he may be one of the top 5 nicest human beings alive. The phrase sweetheart was developed specifically with Lars in mind. Love, prosperity, hope. I wouldn't be surprised if the man planted trees and cleaned playgrounds on his off days. In any entertainment industry, people can be fake and they'll turn on that nice guy act in order to get what they want. But I think Lars would go into some form of catatonic shock if he physically attempted to insult anyone. Some people give Lars criticism for not being the world's greatest rapper, which is kind of what you say to someone who puts out incredibly catchy tracks and visually impressive videos and is performed in front of thousands of people over the world. Do you know who would be first in line to give those same critics a big ol' hug if they ever needed it? Yeah, that's right, Mr. MC Lars. Even when he was controversial in the scene and he put out Nerdcore is Dead, it wasn't to throw hate at people making music that they love, but rather it was a thought-out critique of the scene itself. Lars is a rapper who hasn't abandoned his Stanford degree, and as such, Lars has said that he treats his songs like essays with a thesis and supporting statements. The man is thoughtful and he has ambitions like other performers, but he isn't gonna let that lower his personal standards for a chance at getting something bigger. In short, Lars is the kind of guy who will adjust his merch table in order to make space for you, and I don't know what else can be said about that. True player for real. Alright guys, thank you for watching my incredibly important list of nice guys who are nice a lot. One of the nicer guys in the world, Megaran, who was number 2 on that list, had a very unnice thing happen to him while in Oakland. He got his car broken into, all of his clothes, gear, everything was taken out of the car. Because why not? Why not to Rand? Why not to one of the nicest people in the planet? Just why? Oakland. You embarrass yourself. So what would be incredible is if you could go to his website, check out the guy's music, which you're gonna like anyway, help support him. I can't think of a guy less deserving of what happened to him and more deserving of your support. So thanks for watching this list. Maybe I'll make some more, maybe, if this was well received. If you guys like hearing stupid stories about when I was young. But check it out. Hope you guys dig it. Help support Megaran and all the rest of the guys on the list too. But Megaran is in like more need of your immediate support. But thanks for watching and have a great and wonderful, fabulous whatever. Adios.